Hey, welcome to Klein's Geometry. Today, we're going to look at how to find the endpoint of a line segment if we know one endpoint in the midpoint. Consider line xy, and we know x is -2, -4. That's where we find it on the coordinate plane. And the midpoint of the line is 3, 5. We want to find the other endpoint, y. And we're going to use the midpoint formula that you just learned. And that tells us that x and y of the midpoint, these coordinates here, equal x plus x of the endpoints divided by 2, and y plus the other y coordinate of the endpoints divided by 2. So we're going to use that, but we're going to have to separate the formula into two equations. One equation will find us the x of endpoint y, and the other will give us the y coordinate of endpoint y. We want to make sure you organize your work when you do this. So the first thing I do is I look up here and say, okay, midpoint, 3, 5, put that over here. That's going to be important because that's going to go on the left side of your equation. Now my endpoint, they gave me 1. They gave me that x was -2, -4, but I don't know the coordinates of y. So I'm just going to call those coordinates x and y for right now. Okay? So if I then write this in my midpoint formula, I'm going to end up with 3, 5 equals -2 plus x divided by 2 and -4 plus y divided by 2. That order is so important. Be very careful that you get your x's over here and your y coordinates over here. Excuse me, here. Now, I have to break this into two equations. This equals the x coordinate of the midpoint. So I will write 3 equals -2 plus x divided by 2. And this 5 equals this. So I've got 5 equals -4 plus y divided by 2. And now I'm going to solve each of these separately, and I will get the coordinates of my other endpoint, y. Now the first step when you solve something like this, if you think about digging out x, well, it's being added to -2 and then divided by 2. So the first step I need to do is multiply both sides by 2. Opposite operation. And dividing by 2 and multiplying by 2 will cancel out, and I'll get 6 equals -2 plus x. Now I just add 2 to both sides to get x alone, and 8 equals the x coordinate of my other endpoint. Now over here, I do the same thing to unearth my y coordinate of the endpoint. I know the opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And multiplying and dividing by 2 will cancel out, and I'll end up with 10 equals -4 plus y. Now to get y alone, I simply add 4 to both sides and end up with 14 equals y. So that tells me that my endpoint y has coordinates 8 from here, and 14 is my y coordinate. So that's my answer. Now, if I wanted to check that, I can use this formula, and I can just say, okay, now I've got two endpoints. I'm saying y right here is 8, 14. So let's add it together. 8 plus -2 gives us 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 plus -4 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So a little mental work on that, adding my x coordinates dividing by 2, adding my y divided by 2, and I can verify that I found the correct y-intercept, or y-endpoint. So hope this helps you. Use the poster on the wall also. Review this often. You're going to see it a lot of times and on the final exam. So have a good time with that, and let me know if you need any help.